Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Supernational Championship Round 2 final of the 2024 British Rallycross 5 Nations Trophy. Here is your grid then to kick things off. We've got Jason Bleasdale, winner of round 1, who starts on pole. Darren Bleasdale finished second in round 1, is in second. We've then got Dave Van Beers in third. On the second row, we've got Darren Scott in the C2, and then the Mini of Martin Hawks. We're about to go green light racing here at Lydden Hill for round 2, and we are off and running down towards Talladega, and Martin Hawks has not got off the line. So the front four have got away nicely, but the Mini of Martin Hawks is unfortunately still stationary there at the start line. It is a whole shot though for Jason Bleasdale, so leads the way through Talladega on lap number 1, very similarly to how he did this in round number 1. Over the jump they come, the commitment aplenty, so much air there by Darren as we come through the Devil's Elbow for the very first time. Door slightly ajar for Dave Van Beers, and it was closed as quickly as it opened. Martin Hawks now off down towards turn number 1, has got the car going, so that's always good to see. It's always about making sure you finish the race and get those points on the board for the championship. Coming down Hairy Hill we come, and then we get a lovely shot then of Martin Hawks coming over the jump for the very first time. One thing that Martin has been is very committed over the jump, as we get a lovely transition over to the race lead as Darren Scott has decided to hit the Joker on lap number 1. So on to lap 2 we go. It is still Jason Bleasdale leading the way. Darren Bleasdale in second. Dave Van Beers in the Renault Clio is in third spot. We get a lovely shot then of them all coming over that jump once again. Lots of air held by the Renault Clio. Closing up, by the way, to P2 as we come through the Devil's Elbow, but just a straight line speed, the acceleration of the two VX 220s scuppering the chances of that Renault Clio. Martin Hawks across the line, actually takes the Joker on his first attempt as well, as we now go back to our race leaders. Does anyone decide to take the Joker early on in this race? Well, P2 does. So Darren Bleasdale has decided to come through the Joker. Very neat and tidy so far. Beautiful stuff. Nicely done, and actually comes back out exactly where he came in, P2. So did not lose a position to Dave Van Beers, and that will prove to be very handy in terms of chasing down the race lead. Through Talladega we come once again here on lap number 3. Over the jump we come again, and you can see through turn 1 and then the run all the way down towards the Devil's Elbow. Very much Dave Van Beers is closing up. The gap around the outside opened up, and it's all about, can we do a switcheroo? We cannot. It's not quite going to work out because that VX 220 is just too quick in terms of the acceleration. So Dave Van Beers is going to have to live to fight another day. Down Hairy Hill we come, down towards the paddock bend. Are we about to see the race leader come through the Joker? Yeah, we do. Runs very wide. Oh, big collision there on the entry to the Joker. And I'll tell you what, that has caused some damage to the car because he cannot get it going. Dave Van Beers is going to make an overtake through the Joker. Not the way he would have expected to get up into P2, I can assure you of that. But Jason Bleasdale has just lost himself an opportunity of winning the first 2 rounds in a row. So not ideal in the slightest, and all of a sudden we've got Darren Scott now, who's in third, battling with Dave Van Beers, who is in second for second position in the Supernational race. So championship leader coming into today, Jason Bleasdale, after winning round number 1, is right at the back of the order. So not a good ending to the first weekend of the season. Van Beers through the North Bend, dragging Darren Scott. Seems like in the braking zone the C2 is able to just close up to the Clio, but the overall speed of the Clio seems a little bit faster. Again, through the corner, you see that C2 just seems a little bit faster. Is there going to be an opportunity for an overtake? As we see, actually, there is Jason Bleasdale limping his way around this beautiful Lydden Hill circuit, and ultimately just wants to get to the end of the race to make sure you get that points finish. Over the jump we come then with Darren Scott, getting a lovely close-up shot as we head down towards that Devil's Elbow. Dave Van Beers will be hoping that there may be some slight issues for the number 68 of Darren Bleasdale, and that would give him the race victory. So it's going to take some issues because the gap is quite significant now between the front two. It really is a fight for second spot. Darren Scott is keeping Van Beers very honest indeed. As we come around the final corner on the second to last lap, Darren Scott still keeping it very close to the back of that Renault Clio. But it is the final lap then of our Supernational final, and Darren Bleasdale leads the way. We're on board then with Martin Hawks, who's been promoted up to 4th position because of the issues we've had with Jason Bleasdale. Over the jump then for the very final time. Oh, more air than we've ever had before from that Clio. Van Beers committed as ever. Darren Scott merely a second and so just in behind. Around the North Bend for the final time then of the weekend for Darren Bleasdale, for Van Beers and for Darren Scott before we head into the paddock bend to see the number 68 come across the start-finish line and pick up the round 2 victory. It's going to be second position then for the Renault Clio, and then in the third position it is going to be Darren Scott. Martin Hawks is going to pick up that 4th spot, as you can see there, heading up towards the North Bend. And well, with some issues, Jason Bleasdale will finish in 5th position, will finish this race, but at an absolute canter through the final corner then for Martin Hawks. Very nice finish indeed, considering he was faced, well, not even starting at the start of this race. But with some donuts to celebrate, it is your race winner of round 2. It is Darren Bleasdale. Congratulations to him. Wow, incredible stuff.